Hey guys, Josh from Trail Build here back in front of you guys because we hear it all the time. We're out on the trails, somebody's hung up on the rocks and says something like, oh, I wish I had better breakover angle. What the heck does that mean? What is breakover angle? What is approach angle? What is departure angle? We hear all these terms used when we're off-roading, and we're gonna cover the top 10 most commonly used terms while off-roading, so that way the next time that you guys are out on the trail, you'll be able to remember this video and say, hey, I remember when Josh from Trail Build covered these inclination angles. So we're gonna cover some of that with you today, and also, if you guys haven't already, checked out our gallery. It's trailbuildoffroad.com, and then just hit the gallery in the menu bar and you can show off your guys' off-road vehicles, and then make sure that you have some really good pictures before you go online and upload your Jeep. Then also too guys, if you have any other words or terms or anything like that that you hear when you're out on the trail, make sure and let us know. Drop them in the comments below. Also, hit that subscribe button. That way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. So let's go ahead, let's get started. Oh, what the heck? I think I got hung up on something in this shop. Let's check out what our number 10 word that we hear out on the trail is gonna be. No particular priority. Number 10 on the list is gonna be ground clearance. Ground clearance is just how much distance is in between the bottom of your Jeep or bottom of your differentials and the obstacle below you. So if you get hung up, you might need a little bit more ground clearance. Ground clearance can come from bigger tires or a bigger suspension lift. Next on the list is approach angle. So what exactly does approach angle mean? It's how close can you get to an obstacle before your tires will contact that obstacle, meaning the closer that your tires can get to that obstacle, obviously the better. That would be your approach angle. Let's say you have a vertical wall, right? Your tires are not going to contact that vertical wall immediately because you have a bumper in the way. So to measure that approach angle is you basically take your super sophisticated tool and you measure this angle here from the bottom of your bumper back to the center line of your tires. Departure angle is pretty simple, just like approach angle. It's just coming off your back tires at an angle like this, and the less stuff that's in the way, the easier you'll be able to either back up over obstacles, whether it's a big rock or a rock ledge, or even when you're dropping off of a ledge, the more overhang you have on the back of your Jeep, the more likely you are to drop that bumper or drop that spare tire onto that rock ledge. Moving on, number 7 on the list is going to be what's called your breakover angles. So breakover angles, to put that simply, it's just how much clearance from hub to hub or from tire to tire you have in the center of the Jeep. The better the breakover angle you have, the less likely it'll be that you'll get high centered. So with breakover angle, I also have in there high centered. High centered is just if you are traversing over some kind of hill and you get hung up in the center underneath your Jeep, that's gonna be what's called high centered. It's basically gonna mean that your front tires are no longer contacting. You'll be what's called high centered, therefore stuck. So number 5 on the list is gonna be articulation. Articulation is the amount of travel that your axles can go and still contact the ground below. To test that out, you can use what's called an RTI Ramp. The higher that you can drive up that ramp with your front left or front right tire without the rear tires coming off the ground, take that length that you drive up the ramp, you divide it by your wheelbase, and then you times it by 1,000, and that'll give you your RTI index or your RTI score. So number 4 we're gonna have is what's called your inclination angles. Inclination angles is just a fancy term for saying angle of the slope that you're climbing up or going down. Depending on the degrees of that slope is your inclination angle. Higher the angle, the trickier it's gonna be getting up that hill or even traversing down that hill. Center of gravity is basically the 2 planes from where your tires from front to back and then also from side to side, you meet that in the middle. and then measure your distance off the ground. That's going to be your center of gravity. That higher center of gravity will mean that your Jeep is going to be more likely to tip over. So then moving on, number 2, we have crawl ratio. So crawl ratio is that measurement of how slow your Jeep can crawl when in low gear and at engine idle speed. It basically just multiplies the force of the engine's power to the wheels. So the more crawl ratio you have, or the lower the gears that you have, the better that you're going to be able to control your Jeep using the throttle. If you have low gearing, you have a lower crawl ratio, you'll be able to maintain better control and multiply your engine's power to the wheels. And guys, last is a turned turtle. So if you've never heard that term before, it's probably a good thing, because a turned turtle means that you have completely flipped your Jeep upside down with the tires up in the air like a turtle laying on its back. So, well, I hope some of those words at least help you guys out when you're out on the trail and you hear some of those things that we covered today. Also, make sure and upload your guys' rigs or Jeeps or off-road vehicles to our gallery. It's trailbuiltoffroad.com. Throw in some good pictures with it and some good descriptions with it, and make sure hit that subscribe button. That way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. I'm Josh from Trail Built, and we'll see you guys next time.